Thank you, Sheena.
Needs, and good deeds. Somebody just sent me a Starbucks portfolio, 3 Starbucks properties in Louisiana, Illinois, and Texas, Dallas. So if anybody's looking to invest in Starbucks properties, they're a decent tenant.
I got a question. Is it the same owner or different owners?
One owner owns all 3, it looks like.
Okay.
But
I wonder how Starbucks is doing. Are they doing okay?
I think
They're having supply chain issues.
I think regardless of the economy and inflation, people still need their coffee.
True that. Yep.
I think so. It's pretty good. It's got good cap rates. So, anyways,
Well,
it's interesting.
if anybody's into the Starbucks or coffee business,
You don't actually run the operations. You just own the asset.
is it the real estate play or is it?
Yeah, you just own the real estate, and
Okay.
Starbucks is different because Starbucks, they actually are tenants. Dutch Brothers will actually own the property.
Yeah.
Different play.
So is Starbucks the anchor there?
They're standalones with drive-throughs.
Oh,
Actually, a pretty good deal. 1.9 mil for the one in Illinois, kind of by downtown Chicago. That's pretty good.
they're not so cheap. 1.9.
Yeah, you get the
What are they paying rent?
The rent is, well, total net income annual between the 3 is 374K.
You might need to turn your
Sorry, we got
devices off.
freaking Amazon shows up every 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
And we got a dog who needs to welcome Amazon.
Okay.
Lily, proceed.
Okay. Kickball will be back. Well, I got questions now. Now that he throws that deal out there. It's like,
I know. Did he say what was the cap rate for that?
no, he said it was good. What's the cap rate, bro? You're muted. I muted you. Sorry.
Bro, I'm gonna mute your face too, bro.
I wish I was a real life, yeah, like the movie Click.
Would that be cool? Looks like as is. I gotta dig into it. The only reason I get these is because I have a couple of clients who really want to buy Starbucks or Walgreens. And this one's not bad, 5.5 as is. And then of course the pro forma one really depends on running your own numbers. I never trust anybody else's pro formas. Newer construction, 2018, high traffic locations, below market rents. No early termination rights, which is pretty smart. So Starbucks is stuck. 10% annual increases in rent.
How long is the lease for?
It looks like the leases are good for 10 more years. Yeah, Starbucks leases a long time, which is interesting because when you compare it to McDonald's strategy, which they own all the real estate.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's is like, we're not in the burger business, we're in the real estate business. For some reason, Starbucks, you would think that they would want to start owning some real estate with all the different Starbucks locations they have. But for some reason, Starbucks loves to rent. But Dutch Brothers, on the other hand, they're a McDonald's model where they buy all their properties. And I think that's a smart move.
I wonder if it's because their footprint is typically much smaller than no, actually it's not really, right?
Oh, no. I mean, it's probably smaller than a McDonald's franchise because these are all 2,000. They're all right around 2,200 square feet. So
Okay.
probably about the size of a McDonald's, get one drive through.
Wait, did you see the cap rate? Dante was asking for about the cap rate.
5.5 as is. Dante, you looking for commercial?
I'm looking for something to put in some money in.
Dude, then yeah, Starbucks is pretty good. The other one that I really like right now is Walgreens. Walgreens also signed some pretty solid leases.
What is the cap rate on that one?
That one we already sold, but But there's more. There's Walgreens are for sale all the time. Try shoot me one message. Here, I'll drop you my email.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
got a
I'll
need.
speak with you about it.
I got a need for you, Dante. I was wondering, if one day if you like, you're a, you get certified, like a certified cash flow coach.
Certified cash flow for
Like, is that, or like just for the game cash flow? Do you,
not a certified cash flow coach, but we are like we're kind of part, not really part, but we got approval from Robert Kiyosaki for facilitating the cash flow game.
oh, okay. Yeah, I want to have a team, like go with our team, you know, and then maybe we'll figure out how that goes, and then maybe we'll open it up to everybody here once we have it all ironed out, you know, like just have fun cash flow games, networking, maybe in different the markets that we're mainly in, maybe Seattle and Hawaii. But I'll chit chat with you after.
Yeah.
Right on. Thank you, Dante. Does anybody else have anything they need, or even if it's a question? There's a lot of news out there right now.
I know I have a friend right now. He's looking for a way to purchase a farmland in
Okay.
the mainland. I think so it was in Texas or something like that. But so the only problem is the income. So he doesn't have, you know, like he doesn't have he doesn't have any proof of income to show. And the person they're trying to purchase from, they don't want to do seller financing or anything, but they want to run a business on there. So what is the other solutions he can do?
Maybe I don't think Alex is gonna be able to make it on today, but Alex knows a couple of guys that would possibly do like business lines of credits. What does he do? Does he work, or does he have another business?
Oh, he does work, but I guess income as far as like qualifying for it.
What does he want to do on the land, Dante?
Yeah.
He actually wants to create like he wants to do a business, a bee business. So he's gonna create like a bunch of beehives and sell the honey.
Oh, that's funny. When you said B, I was like, you know, like A to B, B to C, but like literally carrying bees. Does he have experience doing bees? Because that's a pretty unique space.
Yeah.
Actually, he might be on the line here. Jay, I don't know if you're here or not. If you are.
Just an FYI, Dante, this is
Yeah.
Kathleen. We have a family farm, a rice farm in California that we are selling. If you're interested.
Oh, rice farm.
Yeah, we have, I don't even know, it's a couple thousand acres. 1/3 of it was sold recently. So just an FYI, if anybody wants a rice farm in California, it uses lots of water.
Kathleen, what's it? Kathleen, is it zone agriculture?
It's all ag. It's been rice farm for years and years and years up in the Sacramento Valley.
Oh.
A rice farm.
Yes, a rice farm. We've
I
had it
didn't
since
know
the
that. Hi, Kathleen.
1900s. No, I never worked the farm. I wasn't out there with the hat with the rice paddies. It's actually a pretty mechanized a way. They just everything, the water floods in, the planes go over to seed it and fertilize it, and you just wait for the stuff to grow and you harvest it in the fall. And then you burn and get everybody mad in the valley because the smog comes in and all that good stuff. But
Wow. So they fly and water everything? No, fly
yeah,
and
by airplanes.
no way. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's the first. Oh, I didn't know you owned a
Kathleen,
rice farm.
can you do anything else on rice farms, or does it have to stay rice?
I think it has to stay rice. What some people are doing,
Hello.
just an FYI, because Southern California is so needs water so much. There is some little thing that some rice farmers are doing and selling their water, pumping it from the wells and selling it down to Southern California. Now, I don't know much about it, but I heard if you do that, then you cannot farm anymore. So I don't know if someone wants to research it or something like that. California, Northern California they don't have a water issue in that area, not like some Central California areas.
Right.
Kathleen, are you guys, are you selling it for sale by owner?
Yeah, my brother does it all. Yeah.
Nice.
I think he's working with the agent.
Okay. Well, can you shoot me? I just sent you a message on my email address. We have a ton of investors who like to buy odd things, and that is super odd. So,
Okay,
it's
Kathleen.
it's got
Yeah,
me.
I gotta ask Kathy, like, how did you get why a rice farm?
Okay, well, it was purchased by my grandfather in the early 1900s. So
Oh,
he wanted to buy land, but his actual last name at the time was Jones, Jones, or Chin, I'm sorry, Chin. So back there, and you could not, as an alien, you could not buy land. So the joke is he did change our name to Jones, Jones, to buy the land back in the early 1900s. So it's been in our family, and no one wants it anymore. So
gotcha.
so it's kind of one of those, it's kind of run its course in the family.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. I that is a story behind it for sure.
Yeah.
So family.
So I lived in the country. I grew up a country girl. Population
Oh,
of 5,000.
nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll
Well,
let you know, because yeah, it's definitely very unique.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool. Shoot, hit me up. I just shot you a message, Kathleen.
Okay.
That'd be cool. And then going back to Dante's question. So depending on, so one of the best ways for ag loans is actually the USDA. They actually do agricultural loans for agricultural purposes on agricultural land, and especially for farming, it's really huge. We had worked with USDA for 200 acres in Cunha, and they were really easy to work with. And income is not necessarily a problem so long as the business plan is super solid. So I don't know if that helps you out at all.
Yeah, that helps out a lot. Yeah, definitely. That's the answer we're looking for.
Yeah, so go USDA. I was gonna look it up for you. I had a rep that was amazing, but just USDA loans, I think it's rural development loans. The one thing is if the guy doesn't have experience doing V's, he probably wants to find a good B company and partner with them for the business plan. Because of course USDA is using its tax money, yeah, but the interest rates are super low. Their interest is trying to get rural agricultural lands that are underutilized into production. And I think with especially the food shortages and all that kind of stuff, that could be a cool thing there. But yeah, there could be an option if he's watch out so he doesn't get stung, right? Stupid joke, but anyways, yeah, USDA, they're super cool for rural. Keep us updated because that's super interesting. I've never heard of somebody deciding all of a sudden, hey, I'm gonna go in the bee industry.
No. He has. When I spoke with him, he had a lot of info. So the ROI was pretty good. That's why he was going towards that industry. So he knows, he's either in the industry or he knows a lot about the industry. So
that's awesome. Love it. That's a great question, by the way.
Perfect.
And then Dante, hit me up and I can share with you the couple properties we're looking at that might be a good commercial. Commercial's a really interesting play. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and I'll hit you up on other things as well, like either that or like multifamily or apartment complexes.
Oh, that's my passion, bro. Multifamilies. Love it.
Sounds good.
Love it. Anybody else got any needs? This is super cool. We talked about beehives and rice farms. Two things we thought we'd never talk about.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm looking for go ahead.
I was gonna say we went to a little kid's birthday party last night over here at the horse thing, and the guy was telling me all about bees. That's what he does. And apparently bees just made it onto the endangered list this year. So it's a big thing.
It's a big
There's
problem.
money in bees. They need bees because people are like hand pollinating these crops right now. And that's not really sustainable. So for what it's worth, if you guys want, Dante, if you want this guy's number, he's got a bunch of beehives around here. And I'm sure would be happy
You
to
figured it
partner.
out, right?
Yeah, talk if you want to shoot me a message, or I can just put it in the chat. The guy's super nice. He's from Russia, entrepreneur, but for what it's worth, man.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
what we need. We need solid entrepreneurs to go fix this problem over here with the bees, you know? They
I'll
have
invite-
they have a few companies, right? Like you see them on Shark Tank and stuff. Like, but I went to the farmers market. We went to the farmers market a couple weeks ago in Kailua, and there's always this guy that has the bees and like with the queen bee. So I always take count of, we try to find the queen bee, but he said that the regular bees, the worker bees, they only live for like 40 hours, you know? And I didn't know that they live, it's only that short. And we have this problem where the bees keep flying into our pool. So I asked them, like, why did they do that? They think it's water, I guess, and then they get stuck, right? So he said, just leave floaties in there, you know, so that hopefully they can find their way out, and it's been working. So we gotta save the bees. We'll fix this problem. But thank you, Dante, for asking the question, and thank you, Kathleen, for sharing. All right. Does anybody else have anything before we move on?
I do have one more question. I'm looking for an active flip. I was hoping that West Side thing was going to pan out, Corey, but it doesn't look like it's going to be very good.
Yeah.
So if anybody has anything, I would love to talk to you about a way to make some active income. That would be awesome. And then I had a second question. I have all these like properties spread around the mainland, and you know, there's like 20 grand in equity in this one and 40 in this one. Is there a way to like put all the properties on the hook and then get like a credit line with a company so that I can do an active flip and kind of use that equity without like refining each one?
Mm-hmm. There probably is. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Like basically, it's how many properties are there?
6, and then 7, including this one.
What is the total amount in equity, you think?
Maybe 500 grand.
Okay, and then the debt, or what do you think the value? What do you think the value total of all of them is? Okay, so 500. I guess, you know what? I don't know. You'd have to do a loan that will cross collateralize, right? So maybe maybe Chris Allen or Justin Acuna can help, or even Kathleen. It'll have to be a loan, like a blanket loan. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Pac Bay, you might they might require to refinance each property in order to pull money out. But I'll bring it up to our CEO and see if we can come up with a solution for you to help you. And then I'll let you know.
Hey, Roderick, a couple questions for you. Why did you say you wouldn't want to refinance?
Rates.
Yeah, don't they make the principal go up by like 10 grand? And then the interest rate we have right now is super low. So maybe HELOCs, if I could pull little HELOCs on each one, that would be cool. But I want to say Vince Gething did something like that with a company called like Finance of America or something.
Yep. That's
And
Blackstone. Yeah, Finance of America is Blackstone. Yep.
I'm actually going to his meetup next week. Or is anybody else going to the multifamily thing here?
It's here on Oahu.
Yeah. And,
Oh shucks, I did see that. Yeah,
Or you should go. Is good. That's good stuff.
I think it's
Disney
Yeah.
Resort.
well.
That's reason enough to go.
Oh shucks, I don't know anybody from Finance of America anymore. They all left. So but yeah, maybe Vince is a nice guy. I'm sure he'll be happy to help. Yeah. put you in touch with those guys. That sounds like something they would do.
Hey, Roger,
Roger, I work with Patty Kiker over at Finance of America Commercial. So I can check with her. I actually tried to do that once with about 3 properties. I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago. It's so expensive to try to get a line of credit. They charged like 5 points. The interest rate was really high at that time. So I kind of just dropped it. I think it was CoreVest at the time that I was looking at it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen. Oh, do you guys have each other's info? Not yet. I'll do a group.
Oh, but I'll get it. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Hey, Roger, do you, when you buy your properties, do you buy them in your name, your wife's name, or your trust name?
This last triplex that we purchased in Daytona Beach, she was able to qualify for primary residence because she's a pilot.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. We got a lower rate, but we're pretty much getting tapped out as far as debt to income ratio. So I don't know, Corey, maybe can I buy you coffee next week and you tell me what I should do, bro? I'm kind of dying on the vine right here. You know what I mean?
Hey, Roger, did you ever call my guys over at Anderson Advisors?
I believe so, but I didn't make a good connection, but I'll try again.
Yeah, or hit me back up again. Michael's really good. So we're now buying, so our family assets are all in the trust. And so all of our loans are in the trust too. And so as a result, now the trust has equity. So the trust can get lines of credit.
Oh, sick.
Right. So your workaround is to potentially form a trust, which helps with a lot of death benefits too, right? And then also taxes. There's a lot of protections in the trust. So, I mean, that's not we should definitely do a guest, Corey, someday to just talk about trusts and protections and stuff like that. But that is a way, because right now, for us, that's where our properties are in. And what Kathleen says is true. You get 2, 3, 4, then it gets harder to figure out how do you put them all together. And then the other piece of having so many different properties is trying to keep them all straight, like which LLC owns them, and then what happens if your wife passes away or you pass away, then what happens? But when everything's in a trust, it's all set to go. So something to think about.
Yeah, that'd be great. Is that Anderson Tax Advisors?
It's just called Anderson Advisors. I thought I had sent you an email, but shoot me an email. Michael Hackler is the guy that I use. In fact, I just emailed him this morning to create another LLC under the trust for another thing. So, and then they just like 2 minutes later, they're like, okay, it's great. Your EIN number's ready to go. They're like, wow, this is great. So
okay, I'll email you. Thank you, Kikwa.
Yeah, that may help you out quite a bit. And then that will also help, likely it helps get around that, the what you had referred to about being tapped out. Because yeah, it's no longer you personally, it's your estate, your trust. And then down the road, you can actually create like your own family office.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a whole different level of stuff that's like way beyond me, but it apparently it works.
Oh, that's great. Okay, thank you.
That's interesting stuff, Kikoa, because we have a trust, and so every time we purchase property, we try to put it right into the trust. Is that what you're doing too?
Yeah, absolutely. Who built your trust for you?
We use Dean Park.
Okay. That's
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's challenging because when we buy property, people, they don't necessarily always want to put it under the business name. So then we just by default end up putting it in the trust, which is perfect because then we don't have to do another transaction. But that's good to know that you guys are doing it too, because now everything that we buy, we just put it right into the trust.
Yep, 100%. And the other cool thing is that you're totally right. It's hard at first because lenders are like, well, who's on the line, and who's the personal guarantee, and does this entity have income, and yada yada yada. But once you get past the first one, I've discovered, then you'll find a lender that knows you, knows your trust, and is like every single time doing like, hey, anytime you got a property, just give it to me and I'll finance it, and then we put it in the trust. So that's huge too. Is just getting that team, the power team together.
Nice. Who did you say you guys use?
I use Anderson Advisors. Kind of a lot of the folks in our physician network uses the same group. I can totally tee you up with somebody there, and you can just ask them questions if you like. You could just shoot me a message. I'll drop my email in the chat.
Nice. Yeah, that would be great, because kind of like Roderick, we're kind of having the same issues where it's like we have equity in our properties, but of course we don't want to refinance because our rates are just cherry right now, and so we're trying to do the HELOCs, but our debt to income is all, it just won't cover. And so that's a good idea, is just building up your trust and then taking a line of credit out of that.
Yeah. And it really just protects you too, right? You just have no idea. And then I think we got serious about it during COVID, when people we knew were just dying. And then nobody knew what to do because their assets were all unprotected, So it's kind of it's a cool thing to be thinking ahead for. So that way, that if something happens to you or your family, then which kids get it, or how the money's distributed, or whether the income goes straight to paying college tuition for kids. So it's pretty cool the way you could set up your real estate. So that way you have control over it even when you're gone.
For sure.
I tell my kids all the time, they ain't getting any free real estate.
Hey, do you have separate trusts, or is it just, your trust is together with your wahine, or are they separate?
Yeah, ours is, I'd like it to be separate because that way I can spend more money on shoes and cars, but she doesn't like it that way. So no, typically speaking, the trust should be together. A really powerful trust sets up all of your living will as well, So it outlines everything, including Tristan, you win, yeah, shoes and cars. But yeah, no, ours is together. I think I've heard families who have done it where they have so much income coming together in the marriage. So usually that's because of a second marriage. So they actually create two separate LLCs that go into a trust, which I don't quite understand how that all works, or two trusts that goes into another trust. To me, it's kind of like, if you don't have enough trust to do one trust, then maybe you shouldn't do a trust.
Amen.
But totally a great question though. I'll have to ask the attorney. Oh, what'd you say, Jenny?
Oh, just saying thank you.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. We should definitely get, maybe I'll see if Michael wants to come on one of our episodes, Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
Check the chat
question
too, though. There's people referring good people to come on.
I had a question, since we're on trust, do you guys have it where if any of your kids or anything challenges the trust, then they automatically, if they lose, they get kicked out of the trust?
Oh man, I don't know, but it sounds like a good idea.
If they, what does that mean? They lose, you don't like them anymore?
They lose their rights.
To the trust. If any of the kids try to fight the trust, then if they lose, they lose all the rights to the trust.
Is that a standard?
They get kicked out pretty much.
Standard clause, or that people?
I've heard of family doing that before.
You could put whatever you want in the trust. So when Anderson did my trust, I had a young child. She was like 5. And I go, oh, I don't know what she's going to be like. And he said, oh, well, we'll just put in there that she will not have any access to the trust unless she gets a Bachelor of Science degree. So she's now in college. I have not changed it. So you pretty much can do whatever you want. And Greg Boots did that one for him. He goes, oh yeah, we do that one all the time. The other one Anderson used to talk about was they would set it up for every dollar. So let's say you're a beneficiary. So for every dollar that you make, the trust would match $1 to motivate the beneficiaries to make lots of money. That was Anderson. Did you guys ever hear of that one? He did.
Yeah,
Greg Boots, I think.
No.
That one.
yeah, that's pretty generous. I'm more paquet. Every $10 you make, you get $1.
Oh,
No, it's so true though. But I think the point that Jen's making and Jenny's making is, and I'm the same, or Kathleen's making is, it's so flexible. Trusts really are pretty powerful.
I think that's a good idea because it sounds like we can go pretty deep into that, right? Maybe we could bring somebody on to start from scratch and teach us.
Yeah, it looked like, is it Kamohai has somebody as well?
Yep, come on high.
Yeah. Let's see if Kamohai.
Yeah, our guy would probably be down for sure.
Yeah, we'll set something up then. That'll be good. If you guys have any other topics you want to focus on, or then yeah, please send it in to us. Like we can start lining up, specialists to come speak.
You know what's really cool is, Corey, I was just thinking, was it like 3 years ago we started Coffee Talk? Yeah, just as a group trying to figure out 2 years ago.
2.5 years, about
Yeah.
2 years ago.
But I think it's cool now because, we're all asking higher level questions, because 2 years ago, we were just trying to figure out how to survive COVID, right? And do business. And,
Yeah.
like how do we figure out what to do with a worldwide pandemic, and what happens if real estate crashes, But now, 2 years later, I think we've all seen each other grow and do stuff and expand. So I think it's exciting.
We've done deals together, right?
Yeah, like I think we should really applaud each other in a way, to just be like, hey, we've stuck it out together, and now we're all talking high level stuff like trust, and we're not just trying to find the next deal. We're actually trying to figure out how do we pass it on to our next generation. Like, I mean, that's something that we gotta all just pause and be like, that's pretty cool stuff, in a couple of years to see that happen. So just
Yeah.
wanted to point it out. I mean, I think it's fun to watch everybody, growing and expanding. Super fun.
So true. So true. It's an awesome journey. It is. And I guess if you guys do have anything, I mean, we're here to learn and grow together, right? Like we have over the last 2 years. So we don't know everything, far from it, right? And we learn from other people. So if you guys have anyone good that's, has a message, especially right now or something and something we can learn from, let's bring them on. Let's pick their brain, talk story. Yeah. We have to utilize the world that we're living in today. I mean, how amazing is it, right? Like we can learn anything off YouTube. Like, you can come on live calls like this in the middle of a Friday to talk story and learn and share resources and do deals. It's awesome. And like, before I would tell everyone here on the calls, it's like, hey, like, no shame, ask questions. If you guys got something, unmute and ask. Like that's all you have to do. People are willing to help. And like Kathleen, well, we've known each other for a few years now, and I know that she's an experienced investor. She has a lot of knowledge under her belt, and she's also a private lender, and she lends with us, and like there's a lot that she can teach all of us. In fact, it would be great to have you on, Kathleen, one day, talk about the goods and the bads, and learning lessons. Like those are even more valuable. So, and I would say just like, in the room, there's a lot of experience, a lot of money, a lot of, resources, but some people don't want to, maybe it's not good timing for them during this time in the middle of a Friday to unmute and turn the camera on. But just remember that, just put it out there. If you need something, put it out there. It'll help you get your problem solved a lot faster. That's what we're here for. So, man, this is a long leads needs good deeds, but I think it's good stuff. So, shall we move on to like current conditions? All right. Well, there's a lot of news going on right now. Politics, business. So, does anybody have anything that they see is an opportunity where they are for all of us? Because I feel that things are shifting. So people might have to change strategies, or they might have to change markets. or they might have to change their criteria, their buying criteria, or their exit strategies. So if that's you, would love to dive in a little deeper to figure out your situation so that we can all kind of learn. Anybody? I guess everybody's got it under control. Nobody needs anything. Money.
I'd be curious, like if anybody's buying criteria has changed in light of the news. So in terms of what you're looking for, in terms of purchases or flips, because of what's happening with interest rates and possibly interest rates going up, but then they're adjusting. Like, has that changed anybody's perspective on like hanging out a little bit? We're seeing a lot more price reductions. Things are on market longer. So, I mean, there's definitely people waiting. And I'm just curious if anybody's on that's kind of waiting and what they're waiting for. And then if you're not waiting, it's like, why aren't you waiting? What insights do you have that would be helpful for the rest of us who might be like, hey, we're kind of not sure, so we're thinking about waiting. So that was kind of a lot, but two basic things. Are you a waiter or are you still going out and crushing it? And if you're waiting, why are you waiting? And if you're going out and crushing it, why are you not waiting? That's what I say. Let's just call on Tristan. He's got his cool headset set up and his mic. He wants to talk.
Kamahai. Where is Kamahai? Oh, there he is. Sometimes he's cold calling.
No, I'm good. Okay, so I mean, super interesting. Everybody has different perspectives on this right now, and I can only talk on like experience that we're having here in this local market, and because that's where primarily we're operating. But we're not waiting. We are still buying heavily. I think one thing for us is still relying on the same principles we were taught when we started, right? I feel like over the last couple of years, maybe things have been selling at an overinflated price. So like things are selling for way more than they're worth. But when we're buying properties, we're not running those numbers at those overinflated prices, right? We're looking at the very conservative ARV, what that property is worth. If we sell it for way more, great. That's awesome, right? And that's how we've been operating this whole last 2 years. So we are adjusting our buying to certain areas. But I mean, we have 10 projects right now. We just bought 2 more, and we're still jamming. We just had one, so we're closing on one. This happened after the interest rates started climbing. We had over 100 people at our open house. We had 16 offers the first week, and we went into escrow 200 grand over ask price, over list. Woo! So like,
congrats, brother.
The market is still super strong here in Hawaii. We have a major supply and demand issue. And so we're buying in certain areas. We're looking for the areas that are really, really desirable. We are running our numbers on principles that we were taught from the beginning. We never did try and push stuff, right? Like we're running our numbers conservatively. And if we sell it for more, great. But if the market drops 20%, which I don't see it happening at all, we're still not going to lose money. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's kind of our approach right now. And yeah, we're still jamming.
I like it. Nice. Yeah. I was think like when I'm looking at deals today, like I adjust the ARV. So whatever the comps are showing today, like I might take a 5 to 10% cut off that ARV. That's just my opinion. I think that's kind of along the same lines of what you're saying too, right, Kamai?
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Kamai, what number are you using? 5, 7, 10?
20 or up to 20. Yeah.
What is that? for
like reduction of your ARV.
reduction. Yeah, I mean, we're buying at 30% under market minus our repairs. So we're getting deep deals. And so if we're gonna literally have the market correct 20% here in Hawaii, which I think is unheard of, we're still not going to lose money on the property. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I would think like I know what you're like, the way I understand you're thinking. It's like, okay, how much did the property appreciate from 2021 to 2022? You know, because I think that's the time of the inflated in prices, right? So everything right now is kind of getting repriced. So if we're looking at comps that are showing from the inflated price, you know, let's say 20% appreciation, you know, was the kind of inflated period, then do you think it's going to retract 20%? Maybe, you know, maybe it might retract 20% and reflect its former value, true value, or maybe not, right? So like this is along the same lines that I was thinking. That's why it's funny you said 20% come high. Maybe we're looking at the same numbers, but if like it appreciated 20%, like instead of but the way I look at it is instead of looking to cut your ARVs in 20%, I would say for me, I was like, let's drop it to 10%. And maybe we're wrong. Maybe it is going to correct 20% by the time we exit, but I'm willing to pay that extra 10% to see, you know, for one, I'm willing to pay that extra 10% that I might lose if it does correct 20% or more, but that's my buy-in to get the deal, you know, too, because like we might get outbid if we overreact, right? So that's the thing too, is like we got to be careful we don't overreact to all the, you know, the news that wants to stir craziness. So if your market appreciated like 20%, 25% in the last or between 2021 and 2022, then I don't think it's very smart to use the current comps as your ARV for 6 to 8 months from now. You know, I don't think that's a safe. I think we should take a cut in our ARVs, but just to be safe. But the question is how much, right? We gotta find a nice balance for that. But does anybody have any suggestions, or are they doing the same thing at all?
One more thing is we're not doing anything super long term. So like any development, anything that's going to take a really long time, we're staying away from those. We're looking at, like I said, certain areas that we can get in really quick and get out and try and just turn inventory really quick. That's kind of our strategy.
Yep. Love it. That's another thing. Yeah. Yeah, let's go for quick projects, right? Because the longer the draws on, it's like the more uncertain things become.
Oh, how you guys are sourcing your own deals too, right? You're direct sellers.
Yeah, so 95% of our deals are direct to seller, and it's from our marketing. So we still do put in offers on the MLS, but we never get those. Like our offers are always too low.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe one day too, we'll do a segment on like making offers off the MLS, you know, like trying to get a deal on the MLS, because I really found that it's an art. You know, there's some basic fundamentals that you need in order to win deals on market. Otherwise, you'll never get into a deal. One of the most important things, just a quick tip, is whoever's representing you. That is so crucial. You know, like we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, I think, but there was a time where we were getting deals on the MLS and we're getting nice deals, and we weren't the highest offer, you know. So when it comes to making the offers on the MLS, it's the little details and the process and who's representing you really, really does matter, you know. So maybe one day we'll do a segment on that, all the little tips and tricks. Anybody else is changing things up or seeing any big changes in where they're investing? We got a notice from one of our capital partners about restrictions and leverage drops in certain markets. So maybe we should share those out there, and we can decipher the information together, right? And the main reason they put these markets on there is I think these markets were the ones that were in the big boom markets during the last year. So they saw like the highest appreciation, but is now seeing some of the quickest, retractions. So the volatile markets, it seems like, made the list. Some of them surprised me actually. But we'll send that out in the Facebook group. I had one question, and since there's a lot of us in Hawaii investing, the June stats came out, right? Honolulu Board of Realtors, and for Honolulu County, the median price of a single family home actually went up, right? And we're at 1.1 million now. But the amount of transactions fell 20%. So what do you guys think? What is that? Is it the interest rate? Or is it, what do you guys think? Because that data is telling us something. I just can't really compute what it is yet. Why would the median price of a single family home still go up, but the amount of transactions closed went down a substantial percentage, 20%? So that tells me that there was less houses on the market, I guess, right? The price is going up, low supply, and transactions dropping 20%. So there's less people putting their houses on. I don't know. I know there's a lot of realtors here on the call, so like I can't be the only, does anybody have anything?
I feel like that's interesting. Super, super interesting stuff that came out. It's like, what does that mean, right? Like,
okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like,
no. I'm like kind of dumbfounded too. It's like the values are staying the same or going up, but not as many people are able to buy a house. Is that why there hasn't been that many transactions, because of the interest rates? Or like, what? I would be interested to hear other people's perspectives.
Maybe if deals fell out mid escrow because of the volatility of the interest rates. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the higher interest rates, push a lot of those buyers to not qualifying because of their debt to income ratio, because of higher payments. And then, of course, when interest rates increase, so do credit cards. And so now they're noticing changes on their credit card interest rates if they have credit card debt. And so that could change payments. And then also, my opinion and what I think, when people aren't wanting to sell right now, because if they sell, they have a low interest rate. Let's say they refinanced in 2020, but if they sell today, they're going to have to go buy a new property in today's market with higher interest rates. And so they're like, we're probably just going to sit tight and just keep our home. And
that's a great point. Yep. That makes sense. Thanks,
Hey,
Chris.
Corey.
Yes, Dante, please.
Yeah, those stats from the Honolulu Board of Realtors, just to let you guys know, it's not from, based on last month, it's based on last June.
Oh, last June, last year?
Yeah, last year, June, not last month, but last year, June.
That makes sense then. I must have read that wrong. That makes sense.
But everything is, sales volume decreasing, prices reducing, active listings are up longer. But yeah, that's based on last June.
days on market went up, but like not by much, right?
Yeah, not by much, but
Like one
depending
day.
on where though, some places are longer.
Oh, right, yeah. We're talking averages here, right? So averages still tell us something though. That makes sense then. I read that wrong. 20% in the last year. Okay. But I think it's important to watch the data, like, because we need every little edge we can get to make the best decisions we can quickly in these times. So last call, we were talking about positioning ourselves, right? So that if there is a major correction in your market, and maybe you're not feeling it now, maybe you'll feel it at the end of the year, right? Maybe maybe this is a slow burn on the way to a pretty strong retraction. So if that's the case, then we were talking about positioning ourselves right now, right? So maybe that's raising capital. Maybe you start raising money, and yes, it's gonna cost you money to hold that cash. But in my opinion, right, it's gonna cost you as well if opportunity arises and you're not prepared for it. That's called opportunity cost, right? So people don't put too much weight on opportunity cost because that's something that you're not losing. Like, I guess, how do you say it? You're losing indirectly, I guess. So it's hard to distinguish or put weight on opportunity cost, but truly, like, if like, this is moments sometimes whenever there's a retraction, like, that's moments for us to take advantage of and help inject like super fuel into our business. We can get in and get a nice boost off a few nice solid deals, and help people along the way. So that's what we're here for. So let's start preparing and think about positioning, so that we can be on the right side of any change. And if there's no correction and you're just sitting on a lot of money paying high interest, I think it's still worth it. So it's worth to have the option. But
Yeah, I love that, Corey. I think that it is about positioning yourself. And I mean, maybe that looks like education, right? Maybe you need to educate yourself on learning as many strategies as you can, right? If we do see a recession and people start falling on hard times and not being able to pay their mortgages, maybe creative finance is going to boom, right?
Yep.
And having the ability to take these mortgages over that they got in the last 2 years at record low interest rates and helping that seller out of a situation might be the right way to go. So maybe we're educating ourselves on all the different strategies that we can to equip ourselves and to potentially help more people.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. And even positioning yourselves may not even be like it may not even be where you have to change your entire business model. Maybe positioning yourselves is coming on the calls and staying in tune with what's going on, right? And maybe even thinking about what would you do if there is a major retraction, right? Am I going to change strategy? Am I going to change markets? Or am I just going to change my criteria, like my underwriting guidelines, or maybe don't change anything, maybe sit on the sidelines. But even just thinking about it is positioning. It's a form of positioning yourself so that we're proactive rather than reactive, right? So if keep rolling, then great, but if not, great, because we're prepared for either which way. All right.
Okay, Cole, what are you seeing in the multifamily space?
Overall, there's a lot of movement still in the multifamily space. I think it's the interest rates going up a little bit isn't scaring investors because everybody knows that the value add multifamily space serves a population of housing that are really the working class. They're going to always need good affordable housing. And when the bottom of the market, even though the rents go up, they're still the bottom of the market in terms of rents. So there's a lot of demand for renters. And so if there's a demand for renters to rent, it means that there's always going to be an opportunity to raise rents and then select the best renters. So that's where multifamily investors are willing to pay even a higher interest rate just to lock up something, because the income's going to go up. And so almost like as the interest rate goes up, if your income's going to go up because your rental demand is high, then it's kind of a wash in terms of like, hey, even if the interest rates are low, then you're going to try to buy lower. But even though the interest rates are high right now, it's still a pretty good time to buy, because there's actually quite a few investors who are newer to the space that are afraid. So they're sitting out. So the savvy investors are buying like crazy. Are you guys in multis yet?
Negative, but I really want to sit down with you and talk about it.
We should do it. We should do it. I should be back out there soon. If not, you can come out to Vegas or Houston or Dallas. We're kind of in one of those markets right now. It's a great space, especially with what you guys are doing. It's pretty awesome. I'm intrigued about your Airbnb business too. We should definitely highlight more of that, because that's super solid ROIs. Are you familiar? I'm assuming you are. Are you familiar with all the tax benefits you get in the year of acquisition on Airbnbs?
I mean, I'm not, but my CPA is.
That's
So,
good.
but yeah, we're looking
answer.
into it for sure.
It's game changing, bro. Like, it is so game changing. It's better than flipping. It's better than buying a duplex.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like holds, that's our only strategy is short term. So we just bought a fourplex in Florida that we're repurposing into Airbnbs. So we would love to. I love that space. We'll talk about that for sure. I'm down.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Well, don't leave us with the it's like, why is this so good? Tax benefits. I'm talking to you, Kiko.
Corey, you keep going in and out. I can't tell if it's me or if it's you.
Oh, you know what? It's probably my internet. I'm gonna jump in with the boys in the conference room. I'll be back.
Where are you at in Florida? Come on.
In outskirts of Jacksonville and Tallahassee.
Oh, okay. Gulf Coast side.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really good location. We should definitely talk more about Florida. I think Florida is going to be a really good market. Good stuff. Hey, I actually got to jump off here. I don't know. Corey disappeared on us, but it's all good stuff.
Back.
Hey, Kamal, talk to your guy, will you, about possibly coming on, talking a little bit about trusts and such?
Yeah, no, totally. So he's local here, and then he's in San Fran as well, but he helped us set up our entire business structure. It's a little bit elaborate, but our intention is to be as anonymous and have the best tax benefits as we can. And so everything flows up to our trust, but he's a genius in this stuff. Another good resource is a company called Prime Corporate Services, and they can help you do. I know a bunch of people on this call that have used them, that do use them, that can help you with that business structure as well. But I'll talk to my guy and see, like, he'd be down to come on. The guy will talk forever too, so he's perfect for this.
That's what we like. That's good stuff, man. And then, yeah, I see Jay the Bee collab. That's funny. That must be Jay who's doing the bees.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's happening? Are you the one who's going to be looking at land in the mainland somewhere?
Yeah, I'm in Texas and I found a piece of property. I just haven't found out how to really talk to you guys about it. I'm just listening and vibing, trying to get the feel. This is not my normal cup of tea. I'm in the NFT crypto scene. So this is like very upscale, more professional than I'm used to. So I'm really just here listening.
That's awesome, man. No, I mean, worst case that can happen is that you do all the evaluation, you learn about it, and you get super smart. And then who knows when another opportunity comes that's even more suited for you. But I think it's fascinating.
For sure. Yeah, thank you. And you're
Yeah.
right, totally. That's why I'm here to learn.
Yeah, keep us updated because that would be really interesting. And then if we can help you out at all as you try to make decisions, we'll learn together. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, my problem is I can't do traditional financing, right? So I'm just trying to think outside the box and what I can do to obtain a $250,000 piece of property to run this business. So I'm just here listening to everything that you guys are doing.
That's awesome. Well, definitely check out the USDA. Dante will get you some information on that.
Yeah, he told me that. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that.
Might as well use US tax money to fund your dreams, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I haven't paid taxes in so long because of the LLC and writing things off. And I learned that part of it. Now I'm down to the next step.
That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Hey Corey, I gotta jump, but keep rolling.
All right, bro. Well, I think that's good, and we'll have your back, Jay. We gotta save the bees, right? So we'll figure this out. We gotta find a way to get you some money. So
That's awesome. You guys are awesome.
right on. Well, thank you everybody for jumping on this Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Hello, everybody.
Aloha.
Thank you guys.